So, if you're like any normal human being, you might wonder to yourself, why in the world do grown men between the ages of 18 to 24 like the show My Little Pony? Well, sit down and buckle up, because it's going to require a lot more box wine to make this one make sense.
Drunken Jedi time, a bit of box wine, maybe some vodka, maybe some pine. Not really sure, just gonna keep drinking that wine. All that's important in the world, condensed into a drunk session with a man in a Jedi robe.
My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Developed by Lauren Faust, the infamous creator of Powerpuff Girls and My Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, has decided to move on to a new children's show. This one focusing on ponies, magic, and friendship. Now, if you're anything like me, you have a couple of friends out there in the world who are like, hey, Drunken Jedi, I heard there's this show you need to watch. And you're like, no, there's no shows I need to watch right now. I need to find my booze. But like, no, Jedi, find this show. I was like, alright, I'll watch this show. So I go out and I find this show, and I'm like, my God, this infectious show is infecting me with joy and happiness, and I'm not sure why. It's almost sickening. Too sickening, in fact. So why in the world is it that My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, has attracted a fan following? The truth is that My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or as we'll refer to keep things simple in my brain working, MLP, is a number of factors. You can't really limit it down to just one. And to do so would be blatantly ignorant of the fact that the show is popular for a number of reasons. And it's not just, good writing, it's not just good animation. There are way too many reasons to count out there that don't really get addressed in the sense that I really think they should. I think there's a lot of, I like it because it's cute, I like it because it reminds me of, cat pictures on the internet, but I don't think that gets at the heart of the issue. I think the first issue that comes with My Little Pony has to be the general generation that it's applying to. In this case, that might be Generation Y in some people's eyes, or people between the ages of 18 to 24 right now. If you really look at the generation as a whole and kind of analyze where it's gone, where it's been, and what's going on, you can see a general trend of depression, or really just having a bad time, especially for young males between 18 and 24. I think this is a serious issue of, if not correlation, at least some kind of a factor into why My Little Pony might be so popular among the age group. I think there's a revolving factor around the idea that as, someone who's suffering from a jobless issue, who's, gone to college, who's paid out hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans, ranging anywhere from $20,000 to $300,000, depending on where you go to school, it really becomes apparent that things are kind of crappy right now. And for those people, the only real out is basically escapism. Now, before I might have pinned this on World of Warcraft or some other MMO in order to do that escapism, but I think My Little Pony does just a good enough job to give people a break from reality. The thing about My Little Pony is that it is eternally optimistic. The show never really takes a turn that just gets depressingly pessimistic with its attitude, and as such, it provides sort of an outlet for people to see things in a very positive light, when all that they're seeing around them is a generally dismal and otherwise unintriguing life. And so My Little Pony serves as this sort of buffer between what some might consider reality and the general just kind of despise they have for the world as a whole. I think that's something that you can't really get out of other, children's TV shows. It's really just something that just doesn't happen. Mostly because those TV shows are genuinely aimed at small children and have no real audience appeal outside of that. My Little Pony takes a different twist in that, much like the cartoons of our childhood, Bugs Bunny and the likes, there's a lot of adult elements in there that really change the gameplay. And I think that does serve as a factor for why My Little Pony is seen as sort of this better show than most. It's that adult, the references to Cherry Chimichangas, which, if you're not sure, is a Deadpool reference. It's a comic made by Marvel. It's, aimed at adults and, 30-year-olds and people, out there and that have aged. And so I think there is this appeal to that adult nature and wanting to escape that very dismal life, to go like, oh, there's a magical world where everybody is happy, where things are nice, and it's just nice to think about it. It's that kind of like, it's almost like a bleach for one's brain. You're not familiar, iBleach.com, which is basically focused on showing you pictures of kittens and other things that might make the brain happy in order to block out whatever terrible image you've seen recently. I think the same thing applies on a grander scale for My Little Pony, in that it represents a show which can be seen as sort of mental bleach for the world you live in. And I think that's nice. It's nice to have that kind of escape from reality just temporarily. It's nice to have that small gap. Now, with that being said, it's also a factor of actually good animation, of decent acting, of decent, storytelling. It is all these factors that come together to make the show not suck. There are things in there that really do take it above and beyond most children's cartoon shows. The character, as I believe Chuck from SF Debris pointed out, the characters in there are very much something you would see in a classroom of middle schoolers, and do represent kind of this real view of archetypes that are common among young girls. And I think, because Faust is, herself a real human being who has experiences in the real world, she translates that pretty well into a cartoon, and so the characters become more believable than some of the archetypes of cartoons prior, or cartoons like, Dora the Explorer, which is, aimed at 2 to 3, a different audience, I suppose, but still that same kind of age group where it's not a real character, it's just an actual cartoon portrayal. And I think My Little Pony changes that by having a more unique take on the entire matter. So that's one of the reasons you have out there that people like it. Now, the final reason is the community. I don't think there's any denying that the community is active, and one of the big reasons this show started off to begin with was because one of the artists actually botched an eye on one of the background ponies, and it got the attention of 4chan, because that's what they do, is watch terrible shows and find out what they can see, and make fun of it mercilessly. And, they found this pony with a messed up eye, and so it got a name, Derpy Hooves or something like that. And, the writers took it and they ran with it. They said, okay, if you've got, we've got your attention, then let's, make a continuous joke out of it. And it's gone so far that the character was promoted from a background character to now having its own lines in one of the episodes and being officially named what the internet had named it. And I think having that hand in how the show was created has really made the show take off, and it's made this community is drawn itself up around it. It's a chance to create something, and I think people are looking for a creative outlet. That's why I'm here making videos, is because I want a place to submit my ideas, and I think My Little Pony provides that kind of outlet for a lot of people, my age, who are looking for a place to go and want to do something creative. And it's not too tough. It's, drawing ponies. And it gives them something to do, something fun, something cute, something, a little bit strange, but it works. So that's at least my opening theory on the whole premise of why My Little Pony has done so well in comparison to other shows of a similar caliber, or why it has attracted so many men in the ages of 18 to 24, is that optimism. It is that community interaction. It is the fact that it's simply a well-written show. I think these are primary contributing factors to its continued success. And the reason, there's been some, Hasbro's been very cooperative with letting it be played on YouTube. That's very strange for any kind of media production company to just let these videos stay on YouTube for as long as they are without chasing the content producers. Universal or Paramount would easily hand someone, a sort of, hey, knock that off, we can't have this. And to have that coming from, a supportive back end is what I think shapes it into that final realm of being a show that everybody likes and enjoys. So hopefully that takes care of explaining why in the world that adorable ponies appeals to 18 to 24-year-olds, to those of you who are sober right now. I don't envy you, because you have to deal with this nonsense in a sober sense, and all I have to do is keep drinking my delightful box wine. This message brought to you by Franzia, because Franzia is classy. Yeah. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, whatever else you guys do on YouTube and VMO and wherever else this is going, because I need friends to drink with over the internet.